Hello, welcome to our presentation. My name is David and my partner Shelby will be talking about our ADIC system, Signal. Signal is a cross-platform encrypted messaging service, meaning that you can use Signal on a desktop, laptop, or mobile device. Signal protects messages such as files, text, voice notes, images, and videos through encryption. Signal also requires users' telephone number to register with their system. It is also free and open source. This is a timeline of the history of the Signal app. It started off with Redphone, which is an encrypted voice calling app, and TextSecure, which is also an encrypted texting program in 2010. Whisper System was co-founded by Moxie Marlinspike and Stuart Anderson. The beta version of Redphone and TextSecure were first launched in May 2010 by Whisper System, which was later bought out by Twitter. Moxie left Twitter to create an open Whisper System as a collaborative open source project. On February 2014, OpenWhisper Systems introduced their second version of their TextSecure protocol, which is now known as Signal Protocol. On November 2015, the TextSecure and Redphone application on Android were merged to become Signal for Android. And then on February 21st, 2018, Moxie Marlinspike and WhatsApp co-founder Brian Acton announced the formation of the Signal Foundation, a non-profit organization whose mission is, as quoted, to support, accelerate, and broaden Signal's missions of making private communication accessible and ubiquitous. Signal messages are encrypted with the Signal protocol. The Signal protocol consists of several encryptions such as double ratchet, pre-keys, and Diffie-Hellman. The Signal protocol also supports end-to-end encrypted group chats. Before any encryption is done, authentication is needed for the system to work. Signal uses Autobahn to authenticate the corresponding user. It also uses TOFU, Trust on First Use, to notify the user if the corresponding user key changes. These are some of the tools used in the Signal protocol. The double ratchet is a key management algorithm that was developed by Trevor Parent and Moxie Marlinspike. How it works is that after a key exchange, it manages the ongoing renewal and maintenance of short-lived session keys, meaning that a new key is created every X amount of time and shared between two parties. Pre-key is a shared secret which was previously shared between two parties using a secure channel before it needs to be used. An elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman is an anonymous key agreement protocol that allows two parties that have a public and a private key pair to share over an insecure channel. The utilization of these prevent third parties from viewing and possibly manipulating the information that is being communicated between two users. Signal is a great system that offers protection of information that is being communicated. With this tool, there are social and ethical issues that will arise. A main issue is that Signal can be used by criminals to communicate and plan future illegal acts such as sex trafficking, drug operations, and etc. Signal does not store data on what is being communicated. They only store phone numbers, which are used for identifiers, and time of when messages are sent on their server. The issue of promoting encrypted messages has been questioned by law enforcement. Law enforcement want to have the ability to see who is sending what and what information is being sent. The creation of backdoor goes against what Signal promotes. If Signal was forced by law to create a backdoor for law enforcement purpose, it will weaken the encryption and increase the chance of an attack or breach in the system. At the same time, there are so many criminals that utilize technology to communicate and plan their operations. There are some interesting facts about Signal. Signal protocol is actually used as an optional end-to-end encryption on WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Skype, and Google Allo. Signal has also been funded by the government. The use of this protocol is becoming more popular and funded to develop better encryption. How we enforce and use the system will impact the digital road of communication.
As David stated, Signal requires a phone number to have an active account. Signal only stores phone numbers and date and timestamps on their servers to be as private as they possibly can. The fear, however, is that the phone numbers of users could be sold to third parties or somehow the Signal servers could be hacked, therefore compromising the privacy of its users. Using a phone number eliminates the need for a username or password, but is still using information that can be tracked back to the user. Using a phone number also creates a possible security risk in the event that a hacker is able to steal the phone number. This is the complaint given by most privacy-conscious users of the Signal application. In our research, we have found that for Signal to alleviate this issue, they could allow users to use an email address as a form of verification rather than a phone number. Signal has been given this suggestion as a feature upgrade, but as of now it has not been implemented. David and I have come to the conclusion that the most privacy-conscious way to use Signal is to simply create a voice over IP number using Google Voice or a different VoIP software. If the information entered in Signal could be absolutely compliant, we could implement this encrypted texting software in the medical field as a way to triage or consult patients without them having to enter a hospital or clinic or even talk on the phone. To use Signal in a hospital setting, it would have to be compliant with HIPAA guidelines, which require that all patient information is stored and only accessible by the intended parties. The use of end-to-end encryption with pre-keys and shared keys is a way to satisfy the HIPAA guidelines required for communication between the medical staff and the patient. We currently have options like e-visits and emailing, but in this day and age, who has time to wait for an emailed response? We like having the instant communication available, especially when we are sick. Using the option of texting medical staff would be great for patients like me who get sinus infections all the time and lose their voice. But in all honesty, if this could be implemented, it could mean less hospital-acquired infections for patients who would usually go into the emergency room for non-life-threatening illnesses. This functionality would not only be useful in hospital settings, but also in places like your primary care provider's office. In a clinic setting, we get things like text reminders for appointments, and that is pretty much the extent of texting from a doctor's office. It would be great if we could text our doctor and let them know we are almost out of our medication and have no refills available at the pharmacy, and then get a refill authorization sent over to the pharmacy instantly. Using Signal, we could do things like text the doctor's office saying that our child bumped its head on the floor while first learning how to walk. Then, because you're a crazy first-time parent, you expect an instant message back, and with Signal, you actually get that. The doctor could text you to send him a picture of the bruise or lump on your child's head. Then, if the image is not sufficient, we could use the option of a video call, all while still secure, encrypted, and completely compliant with HIPAA guidelines. Again, this could allow for less travel time to the doctor, less possibility of contracting a virus from a contagious patient, and in all, less visits to the emergency room. In order to get to a place where we could use Signal for hospital or clinic triage or consultation, we would need to be able to improve the security of Signal software by allowing patients to use things like their email address for verification rather than their phone number. There would need to be testing to verify that all the information and communication between the doctor's office and the patient are completely secure and HIPAA compliant. If not, we would need to address these issues and find solutions for them. In some instances, there may be issues like abuse or someone that is in danger, and in using Signal, we would want there to be a way for law enforcement to have a backdoor to the application, or have the privacy policy be updated to incorporate that a hospital can release patient information to law enforcement officials when the details are being used to identify someone who has committed a crime, been the victim of abuse, or in the event that there is a death that needs to be reported. Currently, Signal does not store any messages or data other than the phone number and the time and date stamps, so any information that would be given to law enforcement would be from the healthcare provider or the patient. If all of these things could be compliant, then we may have just found the most convenient way to contact our healthcare providers.